most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin aka MMAnomaly, Emiliano aka Jive Turkey Nano, and Alex Pip aka Pip's Piano Tips.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, aka MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, are the co-hosts with the most. We're talking about Pip's Piano Tips and my guy, Jive Turkey Nano. Folks, first and foremost, how are we doing after this brilliant night of fights on Saturday? My God, did this card deliver. Nano, how you feeling, brother?
Sheesh. I'm feeling great, brother. Great to see you. Great to be here, Pip, with you as well. Great to be here with all y'all in the chat, trickling in, whether it's live or later on here. We appreciate you. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. Brother, we have a lot to dive into, man. I'm a little emotional, if I'm being honest with you. I almost got brought to tears with just the amount of violence and the narrative and the ups and the downs and the submissions and the records and just the Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my, brother, it was a hell of a card. Can't wait to dive in with y'all. But I'm gonna leave some meat on the bones here. Pitt, how you doing, brother? Great to see you.
I'm doing good. Another day. We got through it. We're back, and we have an amazing card that we got to talk about. There's a lot to dive into and discuss, and I just want to give a quick apologies to everybody watching now. If you see me kind of get up and run out for a minute, just because I'm tending to the dog. He just had surgery, as you all know, so I'm kind of just watching him as well. But oh my God, we got a card to talk about. Uncle Olin, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. I am doing great, and I'm doing even better now that I'm talking to you boys about these fights, because, man, Saturday was just a fun night of fights. The card started, I believe, around 2 p.m., and it felt like fireworks from the very start. We're going to break it down as we like to, top to bottom, and we'll give our reactions and what we think should be next. Giuliano says, no one took Strickland but me. That's false. S-Dogs MMA took him in our underdogs competition. He was, I think, the only guy that took him in that competition, and he took him as his dog of the week. So cashed in a couple extra points on that one. And Sup Odin. You know what? I'll take Odin as a misspelling of my name. I'm not mad at being called the god of gods in Norse mythology. Who else had Strickland and Van, says WMC. My goodness, bro. Just like I said in the chat, I hope someone put a parlay of those two, because sheesh, the odds would have been fantastic on that, man. And Sean Moody, the first in the chat, my guy, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, brother? Hope you're having a great Monday. Beautiful start to the day.
Good
autocorrect. Cursed autocorrect strikes again, Giuliano. It's okay, brother. Giuliano. Hey, how'd you do on your bets this week, Giuliano? I got to be honest with you. I probably had one of my worst weeks of the year on my bets this week, but that's okay. That's okay. Did a last-minute live bet on Sean Strickland on Kalshi, and that cashed, so that was good. Basically got 2-1 odds on it. It was right when the first takedown landed, and Khamzat wasn't able to really do a whole lot with it. I was like, oh boy, it looks like he might get up from this. And then right after I hit confirm bet, second round starts, he ends up getting there, and yeah, let's fucking go. It was money, bro. So yeah, let's jump into these fights, brother. Speaking of the main event with Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev, banger alert, boys. Absolute fucking banger from start to finish. It's crazy because I got to tell you guys, if this fight would have been on just about any other card, right? If it would have been on, I don't know, maybe a card without Josh Van versus Tatsuro Taira right before it, people would have probably thought this fight was a lot more of a banger than they currently do. But it's just hard to compare apples to apples when you have these smaller guys that are extremely talented, extremely gifted, and extremely fucking quick and skilled. This fight was a lot of jabs, a couple of takedowns mixed in with the jabs, but I mean, holy shit, dude. Strickland is a 2-time champ again. Chimaev came out looking like the boogeyman. They had more security than I've ever seen inside of the octagon before that fight started, which Dana White's got to feel like he probably wasted a lot of money on because it wasn't needed. They were hugging each other by the end. But round one, it was all Chimaev, right? Like he was sticky with the wrestling, heavy top control, grinded Strickland into the mat for quite a while. I believe it was like 2.5, maybe 3 minutes of control time in that first round that he racked up. And, it showed that his grappling is still elite as hell. Nobody typically stuffs takedowns or smothers like he does when he's fresh. But here's where the hole started to show, boys and girls. The brutal weight cut looked like it maybe murdered his gas tank, right? Poked a few holes in the tank there. By round 2, Strickland started stuffing shots, reversed a position, and then there was a moment where Khamzat just shot in on a very, very poorly timed and badly skilled takedown. Just seemed lazy and sluggish, if I'm being honest with you. And Sean just basically backed out, sprawled, not even like a crazy like hip thrust back, just a casual sprawl, pushes the head down into the mat. And instead of even trying to drive and turn it into a chain wrestling attempt, Khamzat just rolls onto his back, almost admitting position, pulling guard. Have we ever seen Khamzat pull guard in a fight ever? I don't believe so. Let alone fucking twice in a round, brother. Come on. Come the fuck on, bro. It was tough to see. Strickland just has an unbreakable chin and an even more unbreakable will. His nose tripled in size. Gotta think his nose is comparable to the foot of Conor McGregor. It was a fucking balloon out there after that fight. It was a great performance for Sean. I was very impressed. I was wrong. If I wasn't abstaining from drinking, I would do my typical shot for being wrong, but taking a little break because I have a surgery coming up, so is what it is. But in spirit. Chim. Nano, what were your thoughts on this one before we start giving names and then Pip after?
Yeah.
And Giuliano, I'll check my DMs now.
Hell yeah. Shout out Giuliano. Shout out WMC. Shout out all y'all in the chat there. Let us know how you felt about this fight. If you felt like the decision was correct, because it was a split decision win here for Sean Strickland. And let us know what else stood out to you. We'll go ahead and put you on the main screen here and talk about it. All jokes aside, I mean, going into this fight, we knew the hype, right? And I think the unfortunate thing that I want to bring up is that we all bought the narrative that they were telling us, right? We are looking at this with a lot of heat and the security and how this is one of the best rivalries since Conor and Khabib, all to find out they're happy, lucky, kissing. And I mean, Khamzat wrapping the belt around him after, which honestly I've never seen, and I actually do admire that. I just wish Sean didn't really spill the beans and say, hey, we were trying to sell the fight. I think it would have been much cooler had they have just said, hey, let's make it look like we hate each other, and then we'll bring in the mutual respect after we fight, which is what you typically want to see. I think that's the best case scenario, is two guys hate each other, they beat the hell out of each other, split decision, 25 minutes, you bleed blood, and like Sean said, you kind of give each other a piece of your soul, then maybe you sing Kumbaya and you do all the other stuff, and I respect you, I love you. I would have rather seen that instead of, we were trying to sell the fight. I know I called him a goat effer, but I was just, you know me, guys. It's like, okay, man. And then you're going to go talk crap about Josh Hogan doing the same thing. It's like, bro, you really literally just did the same thing, and you offended a lot of people along the way, potentially. But hey, Sean, that's what he does. He was okay with it. Khamzat's okay with it. Aside from that bad weight cut, which I think did factor in. And it's funny because we can run it back, but I think I mentioned the one path for Sean is he could escape out of the second round, get past into those championship rounds, and just outstrike him. He'd have a path to victory. And that was basically what happened. I even texted one of my buddies, put 50 on Sean for me. I don't know if he ever did, but that could have been a nice little pretty payday for us. I wouldn't have done our MMAnomaly, no filter here. I'm not trying to say I called it, but at one point, that's how confident I felt leading into this fight that Sean, there's a path. Like, hey, sprinkle some in. I'll win it back elsewhere. But those odds are juicy, and that I hope some people won some money on Sean. God bless USA, God bless America, and God bless knocking down the bully. Am I right, y'all? I think that's the one thing I wanted to say. I think that's why I was like saying at the top, like I felt emotional. Like I love just the idea that Sean went out there and he beat the bully in the gym. The guy that is the undefeated, dominant wrestler and walks around like the peacock, like I'm the baddest dude around me. Come stop me. And typically no one can. Sean went out there, beat him at his own game. So, and then you see the humility after. So I think all things considered, like, man, I was so entertained. It was a great fight. It was close. I think the striking overtook it. I don't think Khamzat did enough damage with the wrestling to say that he won definitively. Hence the split decision. But I thought it was the right call. I thought Sean won. I thought he deserved it. Pip, my brother, you got an open runway for us. Let the people know. What did you see? How did you feel about this main event of the evening Saturday night?
Yeah, it's definitely to kind of add to your point. I mean, talk about emotional. I mean, Sean definitely shocked the world again. I think most of us counted him out, and he just showed that you can't count him out. I mean, he became the second two-time UFC middleweight champion. And I mean, now, he's got to be at least top 5 greatest middleweight champions of all time. I mean, he beat Khamzat, who's the greatest wrestler in the division. He beat Adesanya, who's the greatest striker in that division. I mean, he's got wins over Amayov, Fluffy, Brendan Allen. All these guys are top guys. He's going to start to get to a point where he's just lapping the division. And I mean, I'm never going to underestimate this guy again. It was an amazing fight. It was very close. I definitely thought Sean took it. I thought he won the fight, honestly, just with the jab, especially when it came to rounds, 3 and 5. But I mean, Uncle, and like you said, first round, it looked like a vintage Khamzat. I mean, he got the double within the 20 seconds and controlled Sean for the whole round. He took the back, he hooked the legs, mat return after mat return, and Strickland did a good job of just defending. And when I was watching that one, I wasn't thinking, okay, maybe Sean's got it done. I was kind of thinking this might be Khamzat versus DDP all over again. But I mean, once we got to the second round, Sean makes the proper adjustments. He was posting on Khamzat, creating space, circling out. Khamzat couldn't even get his hands locked. Khamzat shot another double. While the entry was okay, all his weight was going backwards. It wasn't driving Strickland down or, try to control. But Khamzat just goes kind of towards the ground. And he ended up getting another takedown, defended. And then, like you mentioned, Khamzat pulls guard. We've never seen him do that. It's crazy to me. I thought something was wrong with Khamzat. I thought there was an injury or something that I didn't see. I thought something was definitely odd because we've never seen Khamzat do that, and it ended up being a dominant round for Sean as he got his own takedown. Once we got to the third round, I couldn't believe how this fight went. I wasn't sure if I was dreaming at this point. I underestimated Sean's grappling. I underestimated Khamzat's striking. I was just absolutely impressed with everything. We saw him stand and trade with Sean for the last 15 minutes and was actually doing some good work. Khamzat was pressing forward the whole time. He never gave Strickland any space, walked him down. He landed leg kicks. He found that jab and a few right overhands behind it, clipped Strickland clean a few times, and Strickland was leaking. Sean kept his head up. The nose became a big target for Khamzat, and it was a big reason why I thought Sean was actually slowing down as the fight went on. He just couldn't breathe out of his nose. But, overall, Strickland had a really good defense. He was able to roll with a lot of those big shots, slipping just out of range, and on top of the jab that he was finding, and that right hook counter, Khamzat was just, he was just kind of a little overmatched. He was outworked. The jab won Strickland that fight, as I mentioned. I thought they were 2-2 going into the fifth. Strickland was able to stuff the shots, got back to his feet. Strickland edges it out with the jab, and both guys were landing. The fifth round was definitely the most competitive round, I thought. Khamzat landed those heavy overhand, and Strickland really struggled with that. But every time Khamzat moved forward, he was popping the jab. He busted the nose of Khamzat at the end of it. He was wearing just a mask of blood, and Khamzat's nose was leaking as well. The jabs were coming from every angle, and Khamzat just didn't have an answer for it. Sean was able to edge it out on a very close split decision, and they did bury the hatchet. Khamzat wrapped the belt around Sean Strickland. I thought that was a very nice ending. And I thought, honestly, whatever he said after the fight, it's the build-up that gets us excited for the fight, and the fight itself is usually what makes us hyped. We had it all. We had a good rivalry, we had a great fight, and we had a fantastic ending. I say this fight is definitely one for the books. But as far as what I think is next for Sean, it's odd. I think Sean versus Amayov is probably what makes the most sense to me because I think Amayov already, deserves a shot at that title as well. Imavov, fucking A. I don't know. Nasruddin. He needs to fight Nasruddin. But I could also make a case for KO too because they've already fought each other. But Uncle Olin, what do you think's next for Sean Strickland?
I'm not mad at either of those. I like the KO shout a little bit better if I'm being honest with you. I just think that one makes more sense from a meritocracy standpoint. I had two different names on the tip of my tongue though. I know you like it when I do these whoever wins X bout situations. So look, I mean, we got a lot of folks in the top of this division that have already fought and lost to the current champ now, right? Nasruddin Imavov, Dricus du Plessis, a lot of these guys, right? Brendan Allen is one of them. However, Brendan Allen is taking a big risk fighting someone that's coming up the rankings in Edmund Shabazian in a fight that almost makes no sense, like they're trying to push Edmund Shabazian. I like the winner of that fight getting pole vaulted into a title shot. Brendan Allen would have history with him. He already lost to him and his best buddy, Curtis, and then he came out and beat Curtis in the rematch. So maybe he thinks he can come out and beat Sean in the rematch if he gets past Edmund.
There's definitely a story there.
Yeah, I think there could be some steam on that. Nano, what are you thinking, brother?
I like it. I mean, this division is fun, right? And the interesting situation that Sean finds himself in is, like y'all said, he's either lost or beat most of these guys in the top 10, in the top 15. So it's kind of a hard one to predict. It sounds like he's mentioned Imavov. It sounds like the UFC might have mentioned that. I don't know if maybe he was a backup or something. I mean, he's sitting in the 2 spot. The reality is too, and Sean mentioned it post-fight in one of his pressers or maybe in one of the podcasts or some, they have a lot of extra content after nowadays from the fights. But he was saying that he's going to want some time off. He's been in back-to-back training camps for the last 6 months, right? He just fought Fluffy. Now this big fight, obviously champion. Going to want to maybe, he said, spend time with his wife and just take a little time apart. So what is that going to look like, right? Is it end of the year? Is it early next year? And then from that point, timing makes fights, right? Like, is Nasruddin going to wait? Do they do like a contender eliminator with like a DDP versus Nasruddin or a BA? Kai Barallo, I think, could also be in the mix. I think like there's so many good options there, but it sounded like, and I'm assuming it might be Imavov most likely, but if it's going to be any more than 6 to 8 months, maybe you square up a couple of these guys and make it more definitive. Maybe the winner, Brennan Allen versus Edmund Shabazian versus Imavov. We
for
love
a number
BA.
one contender shot.
Yeah, we love BA. Anything that can get him closer, we're all for it.
I'm a big fan, bro. I think that'd be a fun rematch too. Speaking of fun rematches, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch from this next fight, or rather seeing them run this back, because fuck, man, what a banger this one was. In the flyweight division, we had Joshua Van down by the river, as we like to call him, coming in against Mr. Tatsuro Taira himself. I mean, I love this guy. Every time he fights, I love it. You know the drill. You know the deal. This one was no different, folks. It was a very, very fun fight from start to finish. Nano, I'm going to toss you the baton first here. What were your thoughts on this flyweight banger?
Oh, man. This was my favorite fight of the night. My favorite fight of the year. Maybe a top 10er that I've ever seen, period. When you factor in what was at stake here, we're talking about a flyweight championship fight. When you look at the youth of these two individuals in there, 24 years old, 26 years young, and the pace, the ups, the downs, the sheer heart and will that both these fighters displayed, it was everything you wanted more. I mean, it felt like a movie. This thing was absolutely beautiful, pillar to post. Joshua Van, his boxing is just next level. And I think the fact that he was able to stuff Tatsuro's takedowns and things like that as the fight went on, really, really impressive. Now, granted, Tatsuro, I'm happy. Thank you for the performance, man. I'm happy. Thank you for showing us hell of a heart, brother. Just continue to develop that boxing, continue to develop the striking, and I think he is, again, somebody that will be back on this stage at some point in his career. I will say that confidently. The reality is, Josh is just too gosh darn good, right? I mean, his boxing, he's just too slick. His hands are big. They're heavy. And now I'm looking at this Pantoja matchup, and I'm thinking, oh, boy, it looks a little different now. It looks a little different. I don't know. I think those odds would shift If we were tracking it prior, and then
please give us pants at dog odds. Please give us pants at dog odds.
It'll be closer to a pick'em, but I do know like that. I mean,
even if it's a pick'em, I'll take that all fucking day on Pantoja.
Yeah, because Pantoja's gonna have to weather that storm.
But man, Pantoja is
heavy
a
hands.
different animal, bro.
Well, and that's the thing. He's gonna welcome. He's gonna say welcome to the jungle, if you will. I can't wait. But boy, that was a hell of a performance. Tatsuro's a legend. Joshua Van is, I mean, man, at his age, it's just unprecedented. It's, dare we say, an MMA anomaly. Pip, over to you, brother.
Well done, Nano. Seriously, well done. But to kind of add to that point, I mean, Van is only 24 years old, like you said. I mean, I think the fight with Pantoja could be extremely interesting between these two. But Van is, like I said, he's young. He could keep developing, and what he's doing now, I mean, he's got levels. And Pantoja, it's a fight that I want to see. I'm sorry to talk about it, but that's what I want to see what's next, and I'm sure we all do. But it was a very high-level fight between these two, and I mean, it's always amazing to watch a flyweight title fight. It's always the two best fighters in the UFC, and it usually always delivers. And Tyra was landing beautiful takedowns and had a clear advantage on the ground. He was able to wrap the legs, gaining a lot of good control time, and Van was doing a good job getting the feet out, getting out of Tyra's leg wrap, and just able to get his butterflies in, getting back to his feet, and Van really just couldn't stop the takedowns, and Tyra was able to really control a big chunk of that first round, and I thought this was going to be a classic Tyra performance. And I had Van, so I was a little upset it was not going his way, but you could see a clear advantage for Tyra. You also start to saw one for Van, especially in that second round. The boxing was too crisp, as you said. I mean, takedowns were getting stuffed. He did a better job at fighting the hands, getting the underhooks, and just put a clinch on in the boxing. He used that jab to find the range. It was kind of a sticky jab where it was just long enough to hold it out to see where Tyra's head would go. And then as soon as it dipped or he slipped, that right hand was coming right behind it. And we saw Tyra dipping his head, then reacting very heavy after the jabs, and just backing away. And Van was able to just land devastating counters, finding that uppercut. And Van was really making those reads in the second round and just made it more of a clear advantage on the feet. Still competitive in the second round when the takedowns landed, but Van took the round, especially lands a bomb of a straight hand as Tyra rushes forward. And honestly, that's almost where we might, we should have maybe seen the fight stopped if it got stopped where it did. I mean, he follows up, beats him, pretty much up until the bell rings. He got that knockdown. That's exactly, that's about sums it up. That's about sums it up right there. But it was bad. And he kind of just unloaded. And I thought we were going to see a stoppage. Then he started finding the knees on Tyra, especially as he would shoot in. Tyra was able to survive, make it out. And just, had Tyra extremely hesitant after that. I mean, he rocked Tyra with jabs. He had Tyra hurt on multiple occasions. Van even landed his own takedowns and tried to look for the rear naked choke and got close a few times, but he stayed smart. He didn't, chase it if it wasn't there. He almost got reversed, so that's when he kind of stood back up and he just, went back into the dance. I mean, credit to Tyra, getting beaten and battered, ends up getting the takedown at the end of round 3 and controlling the rest of the fight with 20 seconds left. It just showed you that Tyra has a lot of heart, and he's, never looking for a way out. Stayed in the fight, always looking for a finish. He even got close with the triangle in the 4th round, but Joshua really started putting the body shots together, especially in that 5th round, stuffing the takedown, just breaking Tyra down. That left hand to the body and the right hand came over top, and that's what did it. Just unloaded follow-up shots. And like I said, I was a little disappointed with the stoppage. It definitely could have been stopped sooner. But after that knockdown, beating in the 3rd, he was able to show us his grit. He definitely had a lot of heart in there, and I've seen, I saw a lot worse sequence than when it got stopped in the 5th round. But I love the post-fight speech as well. Joshua Van gets on there. He says, "I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who saved my life." And it was a win. It was a statement. It was a beautiful post-fight speech. And Van, at 24 years old, youngest current champion. He's only getting better. I can't wait to see him get in there next. But other than Pantoja, anybody else have any names for that guy?
I do, and I got a breakdown for this fight. Look, I mean, this was fight of the night, boys. One of the best title fights that I've seen in years, as Nano alluded to. Taira started very strong, very wrestling heavy, dragged Van down. He pretty much controlled like the first 8 or 9 minutes of this entire fight, as far as I'm concerned. As far as the UFC stats are specifically concerned, he got 6 minutes of control time across the first 10 minutes of this fight. So make no mistake about it, he was in his zone. He was doing his thing. but damage was almost non-existent, right? He was constantly hunting for submissions, which is definitely noteworthy, but he wasn't really throwing a lot of opposition while on top. And Van's get-ups only got better every round. By round 3, Van started lighting him up on the feet, showcased that sharp boxing that we talked about last week, body shots galore, which really started to slow down the opposition in Tatsuro Taira. And that left hand was just cracking like thunder out there. Taira's face was a mess. This is the most I've ever seen him bleed. The man's never been finished in his MMA career. And, I mean, this was just incredible to witness, right? Round 5, Van stuffed the last desperate takedown, ended up basically hurting him bad. But I thought the stoppage was weird, boys. Like, he gets clipped, and he literally lands in a Marvel superhero pose with one hand up in defense. That's when you stop the fight, not when he looks like this. He looks like a caricature that they draw at the fucking state fair in this picture. I showed this to Mary, and she's like, oh my God, is that real? And I was like, yes, babe. That was about the moment when you were screaming at the TV, what do they need to see to stop this fucking fight? She was screaming that in that 3rd round, right? But in round 5, I think she was she crocheting while watching calmly? Like, there was no danger, okay? Like, I mean, yes, did he get lit up? Did he get hit? Yes. Did he give his back to his opponent and turn away from him? Yes. We saw a chick do that against Norma Dumont. It's one of the funniest pictures in all of UFC history. They didn't stop the fight. That bitch was getting cracked, bro. She's getting lit up. Looked like a soccer mom against a UFC fighter. But they let it crack on. I feel like we got robbed here a little bit, boys. It was incredible. Was it going great for him in the 5th round? No. But I also thought that it was 2-2 going into the 5th round. And you got to let that shit play out. So it was just a weird stoppage for me. I was not thrilled with the stoppage at all. Calling a spade here. But man. I would have loved to see that extra 3.5 minutes. Is there another name on the tip of my tongue other than Pantoja? No, because the guy I want to see him fight instead is already booked. It's the Japanese guy that's going to beat him. Talking about a Kyoji Horiguchi. The Gooch! But he's fighting Manel Starboy Cop. So here's what I propose. The winner of that fight fights the winner of Pants versus Van. And the loser of that fight fights Tatsuro Taira. I think that's money in the bank.
That's it right there.
Like, Tatsuro versus Manel Cop or Kyoji Horiguchi is great. I mean, I don't want to see Japan on Japan violence, but it's a good thing my boy's going to win that fight against Cop. So it'd be Cop versus Taira and Van versus Japan round 2. Round 2 fight. So, yeah, sign me the fuck up for that, boys. Just came from moderating, weighing in with Josh Thompson and Big John McCarthy and discussing the same thing. Hey. Oh, lazy. That's epic, brother. That's epic. Josh Thompson was the first UFC fighter I met in person. I served him sweet potato fry refills for like 2 hours at the San Jose Red Robin because I was working there, and he was just loading up on carbs. Yes, that co-main event was epic, says Valadizi. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely, brother. I know. Come on, how do you stop it? How do you not stop it when he looks like this? You stop it when he's doing his best fucking Blade impression or Deadpool impression, doing the fucking superhero landing. Miss me with that shit. That was weird. Speaking of weird, oh man, fights like this make me really wish I was drinking. We have a heavyweight fight to talk about. It's Alexander Volkov, Drago, coming in against Waldo Cortez Acosta. Man. I didn't even do it on purpose, but this is the first one that Pip gets first take at. And I mean, I don't really feel like there's a ton of meat to take off the bone. So we're fooled, boys. Pip, talk to us.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very competitive fight. They went the distance surprisingly, but Volkov kind of did a good job at finding his range, keeping the hands high while still out on front. And Waldo really just couldn't get past the arms. More like a heavy sleep fest fight. Yeah. It was interesting. I mean, it was kind of one of those things where we saw, Volkov had moments to finish the fight, but never really capitalized on it. And we kind of saw the same thing from Waldo almost as well. But it was the defense that kind of was working the most for Volkov. He was able to kind of step away, and he kind of kept his hands more in front of his face than more high guard. And Waldo couldn't just really get past the arms of it. he more attacked the legs of Waldo, stabbed the belly, conditioned the shots, and went upstairs a few times as well. He found that jab, and he was kind of coming alive in that second round. Waldo was getting visibly frustrated, chasing Volkov, pointed to the center. He was just having a really tough time dealing and getting to Volkov. And Waldo was able to get some jabs through, landed a few looping hooks, and definitely showed the speed advantage. But Volkov did a good job of just landing that jab and kicking that belly, keeping Waldo back and just making sure it was his kind of fight. And Volkov just shows that he was still able to impose his style at this, at this level of the sport. We're in the top 5 of the heavyweight division. He's 37 years old. He's still able to do his thing. So, but nonetheless, I'll say that it was an impressive performance just for the streak that Waldo was on. But Volkov did his thing, and that's usually what he does. That's kind of how I thought it was going to go. But Nana, what'd you think on this one?
Yeah, it was. I think I felt the same as Waldo did after a while. There was some frustration. I think he definitely wanted to make it more of a fight, and I think Waldo had some moments. But the reality is, man, Alexander Volkov is just masterclass. He's so freaking tall. It's hard to get inside on him. I think maybe Waldo could try to take some more chances to try to knock him out. I think when he did land, to your point, I mean, he was possessed of the power to put any heavyweight away. But Volkov, man, just enough to edge it out. Yeah, I think at times I felt a little frustrated. I just want to see some more action. But hey, I mean, they were both relatively productive. But it's just funny seeing Waldo visibly upset, like, come on, point in the middle. Swinging for the roof and still just can't even find him, man. I mean, Volkov's a little skyscraper. It's just like, I can only imagine how frustrating that is. But MMAnomaly, what'd you see on this one, brother? How'd you feel? Take us home.
I think I was yelling just as much as Waldo was watching that fight. I too was yelling, come on, man! Let's fucking go, fight! It's tough. It was tough. Yeah, I mean, it was the tale of a brutal knockout artist with one-shot knockout power who is an ex-pitcher for, baseball team. Dude literally has a fastball special, and that's exactly how he throws his right hand. Just down the pipe. But I mean, Valadizzi summed up my entire thoughts on this fight in one comment. Shouldn't have chased, but learned to cut off the cage. So, like, for those that don't understand or aren't privy to cage fighting or trained in that methodology, when you're chasing, if someone is moving on the outside of the cage and you are essentially following them, you're chasing them, right? And if somebody is taller than you, longer than you, and thinner than you, you're going to have a hell of a time catching them, bro. Like, you're on a mountain bike, they're on a motorbike. It's tough stuff for you. So instead, you need to take a step back and cut outside. So you're cutting off the cage rather than just chasing them at that same level in a circle around the cage the whole time. You take a step out and in, and then what happens is they have more distance to cover because they're hugging the cage, right? And then as they're doing that, if you're real fucking privy, if you're real fucking smart, you take that cut outside and then you load a fucking kick, boom! And you just snap into their fucking body as they're circling in. And then you make them switch direction. And then what happens, Nano? Now they're circling towards your power hand. And that's fucking money in the bank, son. Unfortunately for us, who bet on Waldo, he did none of those things. He didn't do even one of them. He did get mad. He did yell. He did load up. He did throw a lot of aggressive overhands. I'll be honest, I would have liked to see him stick to the leg kicks a little bit more, because when he was landing to the calf, same as Tatsuro Taira, if I'm being honest, jumping back to that one, the calf kicks were nasty stuff, bro. Like, those were landing in a very big way, and you could visibly see the toll it was taking on the other guys. I think after the second, the second or third calf kick that specifically Waldo Cortez Acosta landed, you could see the welt already forming across the left side of the leg for Volkov. Like, you got to keep going there. Dude's on a bicycle. You don't want to chase the bicycle. Fuck, pop the tire, bro. That bicycle slows down significantly when it becomes a fucking unicycle, you dig? Take one of the tires away. Chop the fucking trees. I love chopping trees back when I sparred all the time, bro. Boom! Thank you, Valadizzi. See, like, Valadizzi is literally a Muay Thai coach. Like, he understands this stuff probably even better than I do. So I love having the knowledge in here. LMAO Westy, I'm a jabroni, but I appreciate you. You guys make sure you're following Lazy Bed. He is a big deal. He's kind of a big deal. People know him. His apartment has many leather-bound books and reeks of a rich mahogany. Anchorman is just timeless. It's one of the most quotable movies of all time. So with that being said, do we want to play matchmaker for Volkov? You have a name on the tip of your tongue?
The only name I had for Volkov was Spivak. I thought that one makes the most sense.
Polar bear action, I'm not mad at.
Because it's not like, I mean, I feel like he deserves a title shot, as weird as that sounds, but like it's not like he's going to get one anytime soon, at least.
No. Not a chance. I say you make him fight Hokit after Hokit beats Lewis.
Shit. Could.
The Incredible Hulk just running at him like a fucking psychopath.
He will try to.
Yeah, brother! Fight me, brother!
I like that fight too for Volkov, if I'm being honest.
I think it'd be a
Just
fun
saying.
one.
100%.
I think it'd be a fun one.
Yeah, I would take Volkov, at least on first
Is
impression.
it Lazy Bet MMA on Twitter too? Am I following you or am I an asshole? I need to make sure that
Both can be true. No, I'm just kidding.
Fair. What an ass.
Couldn't help it.
Both can be true. Those things aren't
They don't be mutually exclusive.
they're not mutually exclusive. There you go. That's what I was looking for.
I'll let
I
y'all
don't- I
take
don't
away on
see
this
you.
one. I'm going to feed the dog right quick.
Yeah, man. Is that what they're calling it these days? Feed the dog.
Kids. Am I right?
Oh man. Lazy Bed. Yeah, I don't see you. Oh, Lazy Bed JBR. Okay. JBR. Holy fucking smokes.
Breach,
I'm an
Mr.
asshole.
Breach.
I wasn't following you.
Oh.
Now I am. Sorry about that, Lazy.
So you
You guys make sure you follow Lazy Bed MMA on Twitter. It is at LazyBedJBR. Or X. I still don't believe anybody actually calls it that. With that being said, Nano, let's go ahead and move into the next fight. It's a welterweight bout between Sean Brady and Joaquin Buckley. You know, we all thought that Sean's path to victory was wrestling. But my God, I didn't realize that Ninja Turtle was that thick, man. He looks like a fucking unit out there right now. And also, my goodness, if he had just a slightly tanner complexion, you would have a hell of a time trying to convince me that he was not an enforcer for the Yakuza with all those fucking badass tattoos.
Oh, they're so sick, dude.
They're so sick.
I mean, he was
The
mounted
one on
up
his leg, the one on his back. Like, there's so many cool ones, bro.
Well, his back, bro. I mean, his back's huge, and he's mounted up on Joaquin Buckley, and he's just sitting there posed, and you see that little devil face thing, you know? You're like, oh, God, that's so sick. That's so sick. He's a beast, man. Let's call it what it is.
So fucking sick, bro.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of Yoshimitsu from Tekken. That
Oh, nice.
Yoshimitsu.
And I will say what's interesting before you go into your breakdown. Did you hear him talk about how he felt like against Michael Morales, he just didn't show up that night? Or just like that?
And it happens.
Yeah. So you buy into that idea, I guess, from a competitor perspective.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I'm watching that version of him compared to the version that saw him, or the version of him that fought Michael Morales, that didn't even seem like the same guy, respectively. Like, genuinely, that's a different fucking dude altogether, bro. Yeah, I thought Sean Brady looked absolutely stunning out there. I was thoroughly impressed. If I could just go through the stats and bore you a little bit with the numbers here. We had 245 to 21 total strikes landed. 77 to 5 significant strikes landed, and 4 to 0 on takedowns landed. And I mean, don't even get me started on control time, because that's all it was, bro. 12 minutes and 9 seconds out of a 15-minute bout. You basically controlled the bout, brother. There was nothing Joaquin could do. And you know, like, his best defense was the like wiggling his legs like a fucking Ariel of the Little Mermaid trying to paddle out of the water, bro. He just didn't know how to get up. And then there are videos of him coming out and training saying like, yeah, man, we just box. I'm at a boxing gym. We don't work on wrestling. Like, what? You know who you're fighting, dude. And like, even I joked last week during the breakdown. I'm like, you know, Joaquin could probably knock him out because, I mean, even Bilal knocked him out. But I also said if you have good enough wrestling to turn it into a striking match, you can knock him out. There's a step one to that. There's a step one to that thing. You know, like you gotta figure out the wrestling first. Otherwise, you're sitting on your bottom and you're just not doing a whole lot. So, I mean, the chain wrestling, the top control, the pace, he just looked like a monster out there. It was a grappling clinic. Every round he shot in, he took Buckley down fast. He climbed him out and just mauled him in top control. He was busting him up. Realistically, what's next for Brady has got to be somebody highly ranked because dude is a world breaker. And he proved it. He absolutely proved it. What's up, John Dong? How you doing, brother? What are Ian Gary and MVP's chances against Strickland if they moved up? Oh, God. MVP would be fun. I think Ian Gary probably gets mopped by Sean. Sean would just march him down and not let him find his range.
I mean, maybe if Ian Gary bulked up and maybe in his later, twilight of his career, he can, I don't know. That's tough. I think Ian's advantage is that he is bigger for the division and can use those tools to his advantage. But I mean, he's solid though. He's a good fighter. I mean, I'm sure he'd find a way. But no, Sean is, to your point, just bigger and has seen guys that have that kind of skill set. So
yeah, let's put it into perspective. The last guy to knock out Sean Strickland was Alex Pereira. Ian's not that guy, pal. Sorry to tell you. Nano. Talk to me, Goose. What were your thoughts on this fight, man? What stood out other than, just what we all saw? A dominant fucking performance.
Dominant performance. Just the numbers stick out, bro. Like 51 strikes for Sean Brady in the first round, 1 strike for Joaquin Buckley. Second round, 90 for Sean Brady, 11 for Joaquin Buckley. And that's 4 significant strikes. Yikes. And then third round, last but not least, 104-9. Come on, y'all. I think the bread's in the pudding. It was just pure dominance. It was, 2 10-8 rounds? I don't know the last time I've seen that. 2 25-30s on that card, if I believe. Sheesh. I don't know what else you could do.
After you get your ass beat that bad and here it goes to decision, I think the only possible way that it can get worse is to hear 25 points is what you scored out of a possible 30. You did so bad. They took extra points from you.
And you think about that. Dropped or nothing. Yeah, he didn't even get dropped either, I guess, is the other one. Did he? I don't think
he did. There was no knockdowns.
Oh.
0 knockdowns. It was just takedowns. And it wasn't even an abundant amount of takedowns. Like, I get it if it's like, oh man, 25 takedowns. I couldn't do anything. He only had to do 4 of them, bro. He tried 10 times, but he only got you down 4 times. You just couldn't get up. That means you effectively got up 1 time out of 4. That's a failing grade, bro. That's a 25% on a test. That's like an F- somewhere below it.
And he's getting
That's why they deducted those extra 2 points. He got a 25 on the test instead of 30. Sorry, no.
Yeah, because that's the offensive damage. And I think that's where wrestling is or grappling, at its finest right there. You control your opponent. You're actually raining down the full 15 minutes, and that's how you get to 8. So hopefully we see offensive wrestling when it comes to.
Is that on my end, or are we losing Nano a little bit?
I'm losing him a little bit.
Oh.
Am I back?
He's coming back. He's back. He's back.
We are back. Sorry about that.
We are bringing Bug back.
Just saying, I love to see the offensive wrestling in that. A lot of grappling, a lot of offense on the ground there. Pip, now that you're back, brother. Sean Brady, Joaquin Buckley. Was that how you saw it? What stood out to you?
It's definitely how I saw it going. It was the grappling of Brady is kind of what I thought was definitely going to shine through. And thank you for holding the fort on this one. I had to get the dogs drugged up, and I'm sure our boy Joaquin felt a little the same way. It's been a little fuzzy after this one. But like you said, it was a dominant performance from Sean Brady. He gets back in the win column, and he looked better than ever. He was able to land takedowns. Once one stuck, the control was there, and it's always been getting the fight to the ground. And he stays constantly improving. The kicks were the weakness to Buckley's game plan. Every time Buckley threw a kick, it was like clockwork. But Brady caught the leg, lands a double, and once it was on the ground, exactly as I mentioned in the breakdown, and you hear my dogs barking right now. It's we got 2 dogs here, but like I said, the kicks were the weakness to Buckley's game plan. It's such a good work from. Thank you very much. He does such a good work from half guard. I mean, he lands offense, he hunts for the Kimura or the guillotine, and he uses the threats to just advance position. And once he was on top, he was just raining shots. I mean, nasty elbows. And Joe Rogan said it best. I mean, he was just Donkey Konging them in there. And I love that quote. I mean, it perfectly summed up what he was doing. It was a rinse and repeat victory for Sean Brady. And he's definitely not a guy to count out. I mean, like you said, Nano, 2 30-25 scorecards are absolutely justified. And it was just a complete shutout. I mean, pure domination, and it went exactly the way Sean was training for. So I'm very hyped to see him back in there. But not sure if you guys have dropped any names or not, or yet for Sean Brady. But what you guys got?
I know who you got.
Man, so I know he wants a top fiver, or he at least wants to be ranked in the top 5. It's kind of a tough go about right now. I don't think he should. I mean, obviously Michael Mouse beat him. He's sitting at the 3 spot. So I don't think Carlos really makes sense. I don't think Michael rematch really makes sense. I guess you could potentially throw out a JDM ex-champion, but coming off that loss, that KO, I don't know where he's at necessarily. If I'm being honest, if I'm just calling all things what it is, he mentioned Kamaru Usman. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But to be real with y'all, there's someone. And it might be the boogeyman of the division. It's someone that's a new person on the scene. He fought this last Saturday as well. He took Goku's powers. I'm talking about Yaroslav.
I mean,
who's the better grappler?
That could be a fun fight.
Who's the better grappler?
That could be a very fun fight. Lazy Bed said Brady gave him the old Ralphie from A Christmas Story. Yeah, he did. I mean, he definitely did. Yeah, I'm not mad at that call, Nano. That's a solid shout. That is a
he wouldn't love it because he's
shout.
So low in the rankings, but stylistically, love to see that.
You know, I have a different name top of mind.
Talk to me, Goose.
Possibly 2. I do like the Kamaru one. I'm not mad at that one at all. But after beating who he just beat, he should be fighting up, in my opinion. He's currently ranked number 6, so you got to give him a bone here. I'm not mad at the rematch with Bilal Muhammad. Bilal coming off some losses now. I think this fight could make a lot of sense for him. And then I'm just looking on Tapology to make sure these guys haven't already fought before. I don't believe that they have. But I think this one makes even more sense and a lot more fun. Let's see here. Tapology is just fucking taking 5 days to load right now. I swear to God, it never takes this long. I swear this never happens.
Never.
Fuck it. I'm not even going to look it up. I don't care. I think the fight that makes the most sense for him is Jack Della Maddalena. Jackie 3 names, sitting very high in the rankings. People used to think that he was going to be the fucking guy. It's not been going so well for him as of late. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Don't think Usman would take that, though. That's exactly why I'm providing the other names. I don't think Usman would take that fight at all. No chance. He wouldn't take that fight even if he had his buddy Henry's knees. No chance.
Nice.
Speaking of nice, lightweight fights. King Bobby Green and Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens, a.k.a. the hardest hitting 145er. But now he's a 155er. Not quite the hardest hitting 155er. God, King Green looked fucking good out there. I genuinely wish I knew how to hip fire the way that this guy does. Like, again, I talked about it last week. You ever play GoldenEye 007, the old game on Nintendo 64, and you just get lit up by somebody who's hip firing? They're not even aiming down sights. They're just fucking your shit up. Just fucking. That's exactly how King Bobby Green fights. Hands aren't up here. He's not. He's just. Come on, bitch. He's so annoying to fight against, I'd imagine. He just seems so frustrating to figure out because he's so herky-jerky, right? It was a very, very interesting fight. The only thing that pissed me off about it is the fact that he called out Dana White saying, I didn't get my bonus last time. You better give me one this time. I did my thing. They did not give him a bonus. Instead, Dana White says, hey, we'll take care of him. We're going to let him have custom shorts in his next fight. Okay? Homie said, can I get $100,000? And Dana White said, best we could do is a pair of shorts. It What are we doing here, folks? Like, dude's a billionaire, and he's like, yeah, we got you. Bear shorts. Have you ever, like, worked at a company where you make the company millions of dollars? And they're like, if you make us an extra $25 million this quarter, we're going to take real good care of you. We're going to throw you a pizza party at the office with all these people that you hate. That's essentially, they're throwing Bobby Green a fucking pizza party instead of giving him an actual bonus with money. I mean, come on, bro. Like, oh, dude, lazy bet is in my brain. When you hit your anniversary date at work and they give you a pizza party instead of a raise. This, bro, this is fucking it. Can we give this guy a fucking raise? Can we give him money? Not Monopoly money, not shorts. I don't care if you make him red, green, blue, fucking something in between. I don't care. Give him money, bro. He deserves money. Better take them shorts, son. Oh, easy. I mean, yeah. How do you guys think Strickland versus Yuri at light heavyweight goes? I mean, Yuri is going to do some fucking samurai shit. From what I'm hearing, Usman's not available anyhow. I mean, that makes sense. His knees haven't been available for 3 years. Valid easy. There you go. LazyBet says, we seem to be getting a Battle of Africa in OKC. What? What's happening there? Talk to me, Goose.
OKC. Talking about the basketball team? Thunder?
I'm confused. Booba time. What's up, man? How you doing? Long time no see. Oh, we got a raid going. Hell yeah, bro. Thank you. Arrow 224. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, folks. We're just talking about King Bobby Green's performance. Nano, woo these people with your soothing breakdown here. What were your thoughts on King Bobby Green?
Hey, man, it was an absolutely vintage King Money Green performance here, man. I mean, he was confident pillar to post. Jeremy Stevens did miss weight. Jeremy Stevens gave it his best effort, man. But I think the reality is the time away from the octagon, just the sheer heart, and I think the big stage and everything about it, man. He just wasn't his best night, right? And it's hard, again, when you have someone that's as unorthodox as a King Green, chucking, jiving, moving, dodging, ducking, dipping, diving, and dodging again. It was everything you want to see. And then to find the submission win, I think kind of shocked me a little bit, but he pretty much was able to do anything he wanted to Jeremy Stevens at that point. And love to see a finish. Looks like it was 4 minutes and 20 seconds in the first round. I'm sure King Green loves that as well. Shout out the Greens. And I think Jeremy Stevens, I'm assuming he hung him up. But I do have a good name that I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on. But Pip, before I do that, bring us home, brother. What'd you see out there?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an interesting fight. I mean, King Green just does it again now with a 3-fight win streak, and he was overwhelming Steven with feints. A really good pullback counters, and the left hand was money every time it landed. He almost got the KO on the feet, but he hit Jeremy with a low blow. And he might have took a little bit more time off than he needed, but with the shots that he was eating, I would have taken the full 5 minutes, if I'm being honest with you. But it didn't change anything. I mean, it just prolonged the inevitable. I mean, Green fights from the outside. He times that double leg, and he's been working on the grappling, it seems. I mean, perfect entry, controlled Jeremy in half mount, just basically pins him against the mat or against the fence and controls the wrists, landed hard ground and pound, and he was able to step through submissions, landed nasty elbows from half guard, and it became kind of either roll and establish a base or get KO'd. And King Green snatched up that neck as soon as Jeremy rolls, and he got the rear naked choke finish. I mean, what a resurgence King Green is on right now, and I feel like he definitely needs a better test after this, and he's looked good. But dominant vintage performance from King Green, and I love to see it. Can't wait to see him back.
Look, I don't know if I've got a better test on the tip of my tongue, but I do got a better payday for King Green on the tip of my tongue as far as namesake. Before I get into who I have next, Booba time here. Make sure you check out his Twitch channel. Dude streams all the time. Great channel. Green is one of the few vets who has not lost his speed. When paired with a vet who did lose his speed, Stevens, it's a big mismatch. 100%, bro. They say power is the last thing to go. Hey, Stevens still has power all day. He's got power in spades. But the speed left him a long time ago. We saw that when he went to BKFC as well, right? And it showed on full display in there against somebody as quick and venomous. And like I said before, he's a herky-jerky kind of son of a bitch out there, King Green. He's tough to get a beat on, tough to get a read on. And, I mean, if you don't have speed, brother, you're just going to get beat on. That's what happened. So who do I think he should fight next? Well, there is a match coming up next month on the 14th. UFC Freedom 250, the most American fight card you'll ever see, happening on the White House lawn.
Nice.
Talking about an Iron Mike Chandler, Mr. I'll see you at the top. I think he's going to lose to Mauricio Hoofy. And when that happens, not if, but when that happens, folks, can we get this man King Green paid by beating the fuck out of Michael Chandler? That sounds fun to me. Does that not sound fun to you boys? You have different names?
Pip, what do you got? I'll bring us home.
I like that. The only other ranked contender that I was thinking about, and you're making me second think about it. I really like Chandler. That's a good matchup. The only other one I was thinking was Money Moicano. Money Moicano wants that easy fight. I'm just saying. They could have run it. But I think I like Chandler more, honestly.
Stylistic. So I like your pick, but stylistically, I don't like that for my guy King Green. I like both those guys, but
I don't think I like it
stylistically-
either. And Chandler is a little bit of a more winnable fight, I would say, for King Green. So
100%.
That's what you're
100%.
making me rethink it. I like it. Nano, let me hear yours. Blow me away.
I don't know if I can do that, brother, but I'll say I'm gonna play a little safer. I think I like King Green, and I think he's a good addition to any card. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna want to go out there and die on his shield or be brought back on his shield, right? And I do think that I'm looking at a Drew Dober. Okay, Red Rover, send Drew Dober over. Okay, someone who has not seen a judge's scorecard in the last 4 fights. That's all the way back to 2024, y'all. I reckon that's one that I'd like to see. But I think any of the names y'all mentioned as well, solid, my boys, solid.
Drew Dober actually knocked him out in 2022.
Oh,
I was just thinking that they might have fought before. I was getting ready to
That's where racially motivated Dober came into play. Nobody can Dober.
God. Not blown away. Nothing
But he's looked a lot different lately. The thing is, like, against the Crimson Chen, who doesn't really get knocked out, the guy just eats shots and keeps on coming. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking, as they say. Booba time here, throwing fucking heat after heat. I think Fiziev would be a great test for Green in a big rematch. Fiziev is on a losing streak and Green is hot. Let's see who's got it. I'm not mad at that either. I think that'd be a really fun matchup. Put that on the co-main event in a warehouse somewhere in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? A little Metapex action. We should all take a moment to recognize Jeremy's record-setting performance. That 20th UFC loss, or 20 UFC losses mark, is going to be tough to top. Are 20 out of his 23 professional losses in the UFC? That's actually wild as fuck. WMC, Hoofy wins 100%. Yeah. You're not going to get an argument on this panel. Anomaly, I like you. Yeah, let's go, brother. Send him in there against Iron Mike.
Hell
Get your shit together and I'll see you at the top, King. Yeah, let's run it. Speaking of let's run it, can we just talk about one of my favorite up-and-coming middleweights, possibly my favorite up-and-coming fighters in the current era, the man who loves cats. We're talking about Ateba Gautier. Make sure you pick up that beautiful shirt from Full Violence. No, we are not sponsored. Yes, we should be. Folks, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take the lead on this one. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it sweet. Gautier versus Ozzy Diaz went exactly as we said it was going to go. He's back to finishing mode. Lazy jabs from Diaz, overhand right from hell, and then hammer fists on the ground. Boom. Like, this is his, fifth straight win in the UFC? Power in both hands. He's got finishing instincts. The only holes I really see are that he can be pretty hittable if opponents pressure him early. Even Ozzy Diaz was finding some success with that lazy jab at points in time. But, I mean, come on, man. The guy is just a stud. He has, as we like to call on this show, the nuclear option in his back pocket at all times. And boy, can he fucking use it. A lot of those shots that were significant, in my opinion, Ozzy was actually doing the right thing with his hands in place. they were just too strong and they were breaking through the guard. And then he was making a couple of really fundamental mistakes, which can happen when you're in there against a very big, strong, intimidating, scary guy who loves cats. You know, when you're up in guard, Valadizzi will like this lesson. Like when you're up in guard, first thing you learn if you go to a gym is if you can see what I'm doing wrong, you've probably fought or trained before. There's a little gap between my hand and my head. Boom! I'm hitting myself if I absorb their shots. With my knuckles, with no pads, I'm boom, bone to temple. It's not good for me. I want to be here. I want to be grounded. I want to have the tips of my padding up against that temple. That way, my head is moving with the shots. I'm absorbing them on the backs of the padding, and then that padding is reverberating into my head versus me hitting myself. You don't want that, and that's what Ozzy was doing more often than not. That's exactly why those shots started to add up. It only took 27 in total to get the job done, and 23 of which were considered significant. Like I said, he doesn't have to do much. He really actually looked more patient than he ever has in the UFC in this fight, and I like the look for him. I think he's learning. I think he's growing. He's another young stud, and I can't wait to see what's next for him. I've definitely got some names on the tip of my tongue, but before I do, Nano, tell us what you thought, bro.
Sheesh, man. I mean, I felt like it was just a ticking time bomb before he finally gets one off. I thought Ozzy Diaz did decent to set the tone. He was moving around okay, and he kind of had some moments. I mean, obviously, we got Ateba into a second round, which is rare, but shout out Valadizzi as well there for shouting out our boy, the man, the myth, the legend, MMAnomaly. Come on, baby. No filter as always. Shout out Useless as well. Good to see you. Listen, y'all, I mean, Ateba's a stud, right? And the way he connected on that right overhand, kind of coming down at that angle was just absolute thing of beauty. Shout out the kiddies there. Shout out Lazy Bed as well. Always on point. I mean, with the odds and everything, you know, I think you might have been squeamish a little bit seeing it go into that second round, but that's the beauty of this sport and this specific fighter. All it takes is one punch to change the game, put your lights out. And he's getting more and more experience as he's getting into the later rounds. So love to see it. In terms of what's next, find out after Pip's breakdown. Go ahead, Pip.
Yeah, I mean, I was loving this guy up until the call out, and I just got to say, I mean, you stay the hell away from Izzy. Don't do it to my boy. I don't want to see you go from Ozzy Diaz to Adesanya. Not yet. But overall, I mean, it was a really fun fight. I mean, Gautier is insanely fast. He was clearing the distance within a blink of an eye, and everything was straight. I mean, the jabs, straight hands, body kicks, and they were all perfect. They got close with the uppercuts and head kicks, and he just had really good technique. Ozzy, he had good timing on his entries, while Gautier had solid defense. It was a good way to slow the momentum, kind of get some control against the cage and kind of wear on Gautier a little bit. And Ozzy showed good defense on the feet, and the hand stayed tight. He was always moving. But at the start of the second round, I mean, Ozzy throws that jab, and Gautier starts getting the timing of it. He lands that perfect overhand right as Ozzy throws the jab and puts Ozzy down, and Gautier just lands some nasty follow-up shots to wrap it up. But the power of this guy, I mean, it's scary. I mean, the first shot that got through clean, it put Ozzy away, and he's another guy. At 24 years old, the improvements are just going to be rapid. I mean, he's tuning up the striking a little bit more. He was more patient finding the shots. I'm really excited to see him back in there, but Uncle, what are the names you got for this guy?
Man. Thought you'd never ask. I've got three names. So the first one and my favorite one is Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. He's another guy that's on a couple of wins streak right now. He has really solid tight boxing, and he's been putting people away since he moved over to the Fighting Nerds camp, right? He's shown vast improvements as well in his own right. And, you can't teach an old dog new tricks in Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. So I'd like to see that fight play out. I think it'd be a good test for both of them, but they are two shiny toys at this point. So I don't know if they'll slam those two shiny toys into one another. If we want to go a little bit higher down the pecking order, somebody that I really like is Abus Magomedov, right? He's coming off of a submission loss. He's sitting at number 19 on the Tapology rankings right now, and I think that would really help move the career up quicker for Ateba Gautier. And if you want to get real fucking rich, real ballsy, right? He is top 15 technically, but he's coming off two back-to-back losses. So he should have to fight down fairly significantly. And you got to think he probably wants a bounce-back fight. Not that Ateba is a bounce-back fight, but maybe he'll fool himself into thinking it is. I'm talking about a Roman Dolidze, folks. Coming off two back-to-back losses, one by decision, one by way of submission. I just think that makes way too much sense. Booba Time says, I'd like to see Gautier face someone like Oleksiejczuk. And if he proves himself there, then definitely a shot at the ranks is due. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. My first pick, Oleksiejczuk, and then after he beats Oleksiejczuk, if he gets past him, give him a Roman Dolidze or maybe a number 14 Lazy Bed says, I looked exactly like Gautier at 24 years old. Virtually identical physique. It's uncanny, really. I believe it.
I haven't seen y'all in the same room, I was going to say. So, I mean, makes sense.
And Lazy Bet, I'm sure you didn't even have to lift weights to get that physique either, since Gautier has never lifted weights in his life. Pip, you have any names?
I really like the Abus Magomedov shout. I mean, it's a little bit more of a higher test up there. It's closer to the rankings. Like you said, it could pole vault the career a little bit. And I do like there's somewhat more of a test there. There's a little bit of a grappling challenge there. He's got a little bit more of that prowess there. But if I was kind of going the route of kind of taking the two new shiny toys, I like a Cam Ralston. I think that could also be a really fun, more of a striker's delight on that fight.
That's fun.
But either of those, I mean, I say take my money on them.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to find a third name. There's a lot of guys in the division that have dance partners. I'm not going to go much lower. Can't go much higher than a Bus either. I like the Michael O. I think I'm going to lean in on that one. Heard a couple times. Shout out Booba Time. I think the time is now to go ahead and give him Michael O. Talented. He has a lot of experience in the UFC octagon, which I think is what we need to see from Ateba Gautier. Can he beat someone that's a little bit more of a quote-unquote household name or just more of a staple in the division? Run it. And hey, if someone drops out, maybe you throw him in there, right? I mean, who knows? There's a lot of fights coming up. Just be ready.
Yeah. Honestly, he could definitely be a fill-in for some of these fights, like the Ikram Aliskerov versus Bruno Ferreira. That'd be a fun one for him to fill in for. You're talking about number 18 versus number 16. And then, I mean, realistically, what if Bo Nickel or Kyle Daukaus get injured? White House isn't going to be able to afford losing another fight. So put him in that spot. He didn't take any damage here. With that being said, folks, let's move on down a weight to welterweight. I do the private DraftKings fantasy events every week for these fights, and this was my worst entry I think I've ever put in. They give you $50K to pick your fighters. The favorites are more expensive. The dogs are less expensive accordingly. I had to pick a couple dogs, obviously, to distribute the funds. One of the dogs that I thought had a bit of a shot, maybe Joel Alvarez. He's slick with the subs, and he's going against a grappler. Why not? Homie got me like 2.5 points because he didn't do a fucking goddamn thing. 9 total strikes, 8 of which were significant. I think you get like a half point per 2 significant strikes in the DraftKings fantasy system. So, again, not great. No takedowns, no control. All that went to the other guy, Yaroslav Amosov. Just wow. Mind you, I picked Amosov in the underdogs competition. I had him to win. For this game, got to pick a couple dogs, and that's the way the pendulum swang. Before I keep on crying over here and playing my tiny violin, Pip, what were your thoughts on this one, brother? Take some meat off that bone.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. I mean, Amosov just completely imposed his will. I mean, he spent a lot of time controlling y'all on the mat, just against the fence, and Alvarez did a good job getting back to his feet. But Amosov just had great control against the cage. I mean, controlled the leg, constantly holding it up, trying to keep him off of his base or sweeping it out. And Alvarez kind of focused on defending and anticipating takedowns, and it just opened up some really heavy hooks while Amosov controlled Alvarez against the cage. He got right to action from round 2, a beautiful setup that got Amosov the finish. Alvarez throws Amosov, he goes to the single, he takes the back, and then basically just slams his head into a kind of an arm choke. And then we saw him looking for the finish early. And I think we realized once how tight that was, it was over. Once he got that slam, everything just kind of fell into place there. The squeeze that he's got is insane. It's a high-level grappling ability that Amosov has. He's ranked 14 in the welterweight division now. Definitely a dark horse. Kind of like you said earlier, Nano. He's definitely a dark horse on this one. He's got elite submission skills. He's got the grappling to get the fight to the mat as well. He's looking like a real problem. He's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. But Nano, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I was shooketh, my brother. I'm pretty sure I took Joel Alvarez, my Spanish brethren, because I thought the striking was good, and I didn't know about this guy Yaroslav. I mean, this guy, every bit as good as advertised, and I think really for me the nail in the coffin was hearing Dustin Poirier, someone that we hold the utmost respect for. He said that, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but it's essentially verbatim. Dustin said, behind Khabib, Yaroslav is the next thing that he has felt to that level. Is Yaroslav after Khabib. In terms of just pure dominant smothering wrestling. Let that sink in, y'all. Khabib, Yaroslav. MMAnomaly. You're breathing out there. Tell me something.
Man. I mean, I'm not shocked to hear that, to be honest. Like, the dude is an absolute fucking stud. Performance of the night. Amosov controlled round one with the stickiest grappling you've seen in years in the welterweight division specifically. And then just slammed Alvarez, locked the arm triangle in. I mean, he's 23-4. He's 30-1 in his professional career overall. Second straight UFC sub. This dude is an absolute fucking problem. He's got elite level wrestling, and his ability to wrestle two sub positions is nasty to witness. Control time, checked. It's there. The only holes I really see is that he's still early in the UFC. We haven't really been able to see a lot of holes in his game, right? He's not been put in any terrible situations thus far. I don't know that terrible situations exist for a guy like that. He seems to be very well-rounded and complete as a fighter. Like we were talking about Ateba Gautier. This guy finished his fight in the second round. Cool. So did Amosov. About the same amount of time, too. It was 1:10 to 1:13. 23 or 22 strikes in total versus 27 strikes in total. So we're talking about how incredible Ateba is. We should be doing the same for Amosov. He did it more impressively. Less strikes landed, just as dominant, and I mean, just nasty chain wrestling and grappling in general. Lazy Bed said, exactly right. I just carry groceries from the car. Send him 2-3 times grocery store and forget. Farmer carry all day. Let's go. All about it, bro. The groceries used to be a lot heavier a few years ago. Economy's killing my workouts. That's fucking great, bro. Facts, as Veladisi said. I walked out with a 10-pound thing of ground beef and a gallon of milk and called it a day. I feel that. Oh, he said ground beer. I like that I read it right the first time. Ground beer would certainly be a fun adventure, though. Not mad at that. Speaking of things I'm not mad at, man, I'm not mad this guy got a bonus. He's so wholesome. He did the breakdancing celebration at the end. Not sure if you guys saw the post-fight little interview. I think it was with was it not Full Violence? Who was it? Full Send. And they asked him about, hey, you know, did you plan on doing the breakdancing celly after that, or like where did that come from? And he's like, no, this was something I learned from summer camp many years ago when I was a boy, and I used to be okay at it, and I just thought after I won the fight, this wouldn't be, or this will not be too bad. And so I just decided to do the dance. That shit was on a whim, and he hasn't done it in years. Brother looked clean as fuck, bro. Like, I mean, he got a side hustle on the streets of New York as a B-boy. So he's gained a fan of me. He definitely gained a fan of Mary after she saw his performance and his wholesome interview. He had the pacifier for his daughter, had the little toy truck for his kid. Like, everything about this guy is wholesome. He just seems like the type of guy that you'd want to buy a beer, talk to about his career, and also someone that's very easy to cheer for when he's inside of the cage. What should be next for him, though? Pip, we let you go first on the breakdown, so we'll let you go first on the name. Who you got?
I've got two names. One is more of a realistic. I think it's an easier matchup. Both guys fought on the card. One guy lost, and he needs to fight up. So I'd say Buckley could be a really fun shout for him. But if I want more of a fun matchup, and I think more or less what I want, Michael Venom Page. I mean, let's do another Bellator show off. So those are my two names. But Nano, what are you thinking?
And I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I really think someone like a Sean Brady makes a lot of sense, dude. I really do. I think Yaroslav should get thrown up into the mosh pit, if you will. If you want to be a little less bullish, I mean, it could be a Malad, it could be a Bonfim. Anyone really in that top 14 can get the smoke. But he matches up well with a lot of people. Shit, throw him against Bilal. I'm telling you, this guy, I think he's going to win. I'm not going to bet against him ever again, I don't think. I mean, geez. Potential future champ, boys.
Yeah, I'm not mad at any of the names you guys threw out. I like the Joaquin Buckley shout for sure. I think Leon Rocky Edwards coming off 3 back-to-back losses, if he's still fighting, I think that fight probably makes a lot of sense. Bilal Muhammad is fighting Gabriel Bonfim. That's a fun fight. You give him the winner of that. I think that makes a lot of sense. And if you want to really increase the pecking order and increase the sweat on the foreheads of all those around you in the division, give him Jackie 3 names. He's just holding up a spot in the rankings at this point. He just got dominated by 2 wrestlers back-to-back, or rather a striker and a wrestler. I mean, what happens now, bro? Like, give him somebody that can do a little bit of both too. I'm not mad at it. I think that's a fun fight, and I say this with a heavy heart, but man, if Jack draws that straw, that's gonna be a tough night, and that might be a wrap in the UFC for him for a minute.
Yeah, be brutal.
Amosov would go out there and do bad things. Speaking of bad things, Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Raumbecki. Holy smokes, brother. What the hecky, Raumbecki. Got a lightweight bout here, and Nano is going to break it down to start us off. What were your thoughts on this one, brother? What were your thoughts on the performance by Grant Dawson?
Oh, man. I mean, great performance by both these guys, really. It was every bit of what we thought it was going into it, right? I'm sure we could run back our episode last week. Go check it out if you haven't. If you haven't, go like and subscribe, or go like and comment on it. It'd do us a big solid. No, all jokes aside, listen, I mean, this was a great back and forth fight. It really felt like Mateusz was obviously going to bite down on his mouthpiece and be in Grant's face at all times. Grant was moving around well, got his shots off. That second round was a little dicey, right? I felt like Mateusz was really starting to get some momentum. He even knocked down a Grant Dawson, which, again, I thought, once you get this big bulldozer going downhill, man, it might be a short night. But Grant Dawson, like a true pro, settled in, got back to his wits, and then late in that third round, able to get the finish finally after cracking Mateusz and showing that high level skill set. It was a good, well-rounded, proper fight. Big shout out to Grant Dawson, man, for going out there getting it done. But never, it's what we expected, right? Mateusz Rebecki's and never. He is never involved in a boring fight, I should say. But Pip, brother, what did you see out there, man? Break it down for us.
Yeah, it felt more like a chess match to me. I mean, both guys had a lot of moments. Both guys hurt each other. Grant Dawson ended up getting the choke in round 3, but very competitive throughout. I mean, Grant Dawson hunted for that rear naked choke, and he had that body triangle tight, got a lot of control off of it in the first round. Even landed a good head kick that cut Rebecki open. And Rebecki definitely had his moments as well. He got that comeback, almost kind of had a comeback KO. He landed a really heavy right hook that dropped Dawson. It created a similar problem. We saw this earlier in the night, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But he rocks Grant Dawson and lands that follow-up shots. But once he got him back against the cage, he just kind of engaged in the clinch. Just, gave Grant a lot of unnecessary time to recover. Didn't look for the finish. Immediately, Rebecki comes out. He goes out for the takedown. Dawson's able to scramble and get his back. Similar to the first round where he just gains a lot of control off of it. And really saw good adjustments as well. From Grant Dawson. And every time Rebecki got Grant's foot to the mat, Grant just out of habit, he moves the legs and brings that foot back, kind of securing the body triangle. Just putting that foot towards the ceiling. If you're trying to get out of it, you want that foot on the mat. And Grant Dawson just made really good adjustments, keeping that foot upwards and keeping that lock very tight. And that's what kept him the position. He had a really good control off the back. He was always hunting for the submissions. And just presented threats, one after another. And within 18 seconds left, he got that tap. But very, durable performance, I guess, from both guys, because they both took a lot of damage on there, and props to Dawson for being able to kind of pull that one out after a shaky round 2 and was able to kind of show his skill sets. But MMAnomaly, what you got?
Man, you guys took a lot of meat off the bone, so I'll keep it very short and sweet on this one. Dawson got dropped in round 2. It was a sweat fest if you picked him. And then in round 3, he just got right back to form, took the back, choked him out with an RNC. 7th UFC finish, I believe. Emotional post-fight speech. And, I mean, what are his strengths? What did we learn, right? We didn't really learn a lot. He's always had a come-from-behind mentality. He has great back takes, and he's durable. Holes, again, I don't think we learned a lot here. He can get caught on the feet clean, especially if he gets careless or greedy in any way. And he did a little bit of both of those in this fight in that second round, which almost cost him. So, great performance by him. As far as what I think should be next, I mean, it depends, right? Did Beneil Dariush retire after that last loss? If not, I think that's probably a pretty fun fight. Outside of that, I'm going to reuse a name that Nano said earlier and say Money Moicano. Probably would be a fun fight. Have those two actually fought before? I don't believe so, but I could be wrong.
No. I think they used to train in Top Team together, but no.
Yeah, no, they have not fought each other. That'd be a fucking banger.
That is a banger. I love that.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Any other names on the tip of the tongue here?
I could do Dariush. I think that makes a lot of sense. But maybe even if you don't want to give him that high of a jump, I mean, maybe Baja Mendez. I think that could also be a fun fight.
Ooh, Ignacio. I like that one a lot. Shin to Shit MMA. What is up, chat? Shout out Olin, Nano, and Pips. Low-key Strickland's resume at middleweight is fire. Dude, high-key Strickland's resume at middleweight is fire. Valadezi agrees. Lazy Bed said, to steal Brian Stan's quote, Round Becky is the kind of guy that'll bleed if you look at him too hard. You're not wrong. Was it you in somebody else's chat that said you expect him to start bleeding on the walk to the octagon if the wind is too hard? Because that was a hilarious line. I forgot who said it. That shit had me cackling like the Wicked Witch of the West, bro. That was hella funny. All right, folks, let's move into the next fight because, my God, if there was a time to drink, we're not doing shots this show, but you damn sure should for this one. It is a lightweight bout between the legend Jim fucking Miller. And yes, that is his nickname on this show. Jim fucking Miller coming in against Jared Flash Gordon. Man. I think we all said we think Jared Gordon's probably going to win, but we all hope Jim Miller comes out there and proves us all wrong. And my God, it's great to be wrong sometimes, boys. It is good to be wrong. And for Jim Miller, it is good to be back. The man has over 50 MMA pro careers. He is an absolute legend. Also, fun fact, he just signed a multiple fight deal with the UFC. Again, he re-signed with them after this fight. So there is a chance that he gets 50 UFC fights in.
That's what he's going for, right?
Isn't he the one that fought on UFC 200 and UFC 300?
I think was he 1 and 2
yes.
and 3?
He was on UFC 200. Was he on UFC? If he was on UFC 100, that's fucking insane, brother.
I thought he was kind of 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, I have that much more faith because we were just confirmed.
He was.
That was why he wanted 300, I think. I mean, dude, 50 fights.
Could you imagine if he fights on UFC 100, 200, 300, and 400?
That would be
I
insane.
like imagining it.
I think he debuted like UFC like 80 something.
Oh my God, bro. I mean, the man's name should have been Whiskey Miller because he's aging like a whiskey, brother. Like he's getting better with age. He's 42 years old. He's defeated Lyme disease and a number of other things. His son just defeated cancer. Like, I mean, the guy is just absolute world class. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim fucking Miller. Jim fucking Miller. He is the guy, bro. Jim fucking Miller showed up the Unks and signed a new contract as well. Dude, let's fucking go. 100, 200, and 300. Yeah. Dude. Jim Miller is the American Yoel Romero, the ageless wonder. I agree. But Jim Miller looks like he just brings groceries home from the car. Doesn't look like he was created in a lab like Yoel Romero. I genuinely think that, like, that's what the Cubans have been working on for all these years. His name is Yoel. He's a cyborg. He's not a human. Rumor has it they've tried to USADA test him, but the piss just melts the cup. So it's a wash, as they say in the biz. Dude, Dr. Swaggy, brother, let's go. Getting all the legends in here on Twitch right now.
Hey, let's go.
My guy, long time no see. Hope you've been well, man. Yeah, Jim Miller, what else is there to say? Like, the guy's an absolute fucking beast. Nano, talk to me, Goose.
I mean, don't be silly. Don't let him get the choke on you now, right? I mean, that's the thing. This guy's an absolute legend. He's coming off some injuries. He's had a lot of ups and downs in his personal life as well with his Lyme disease and his personal health. I believe his kid just had cancer. It's now remissed. I mean, he just like, it's the ultimate story, man. He did look a little wobbly out there at times, but I mean, you get to the mat. He's a slippery son of a gun. I would love to see him get to 50 fights as he requested. Shout out for the most submissions, I believe, in UFC history as well. It's like 27 or something like that. I think he's on his way to having the most finishes as well, if not. I mean, but again, man, just continuing to rewrite the record books. 50 professional fights in the UFC is no easy feat. And I do want to see him just continue to fight legends. I actually had to go back through this guy's resume as well. We'll let everyone finish the breakdowns, but I think I have a good name circled in for who we could fight next on that path to 50. Pip. I'm forgetting. Did you already give your breakdown?
No. But I mean, yeah, what a win for Jim Miller. And he gets the guillotine in the first round. But I mean, yeah, it just shows that, with age, sometimes the speed goes, sometimes the chin goes, but the technique, it stays there. And he shows that, especially when he goes to the ground. But I mean, now he's passed the most guillotine wins in UFC history. He passed Nate Diaz with six guillotine wins. And Jim Miller is absolutely a legend. Deserves to go down in the Hall of Fame. It was a very competitive opening up for both guys. Essentially looked kind of like the same fighter. I mean, both guys were throwing looping hooks. Jared was definitely pressuring forward. Looked like he had the slight edge, in the striking, I would say, mixed in the grappling. And just had a downfall. Gordon shot in for that double. Miller snatches up the neck and just rolls on top and gets the mounted guillotine finish. And he does it again at 42 years old. He's still out here submitting tough opponents at the highest level after 18 years. I mean, big congratulations to Jim Miller. He can fight, with the best of them. Shows to be durable, explosive. He's got a big submission threat. And I think he's going to be able to get a few more wins. If he does make it to 50 fights, it might turn into 50 wins, baby. I'm just saying.
Hey. He's such a beast, bro. I mean, the only thing else I'll say about that fight before I give my names is you got to think Dustin Poirier was very excited to see him not be silly and jump that gilly. I mean, the way he cinched it up so quick was just textbook stuff, boys. Legs locked around.
Facts.
I mean, just chef's kiss technique, as Pip alluded to. What should be next for him? I think there's a couple of options you could take. Realistically, Mateusz Rebecki's coming off of 3 back-to-back losses. Probably a safe bet. And then if you want to put him in there against somebody else who's also had a hell of a career, been here for over a decade, Diego Ferreira, I think makes a lot of sense. I don't know that those two have fought before. I'm going to double check that, actually. They have not fought before. So Diego Ferreira, I think, makes a lot of sense for him. Mateusz Rebecki as runner-up. Nano, what you got on this one?
That's a great name, actually. Not gonna lie. I thought I was clever in finding the one I had, but I'm thinking of Michael the Menace Johnson versus Jim 810 Miller. I'm surprised they haven't fought yet, but I like those two OGs, staples in the division. They have a litany of highlights. Both good stand-up, both good on the ground. 39 years old. Jim's 42 or something, which is crazy. I like that matchup. Another OG, can't go wrong. Pip, what do you got?
I like it.
Yeah, I like all your names. The only other one that I'm adding is maybe Matt Frivola, and I bring up his name a lot, but I think both of those guys are kind of established vets at this point in their career. Matt Frivola is kind of within that same kind of level in his career, I would say. So I think that could be a fun fight.
That's definitely a fun shout. Matt Frivola is one of those guys that doesn't have many allergies, but one of them is terrible fights, right? He is allergic to a terrible fight. The dude always goes out there and puts on a fun performance, even if it's not a winning performance. Do you think the blueprint is out to beat Khamzat? I do. I think what we saw is a telling sign that if you pressure forward, you're able to survive the first 2 rounds, as Nano said literally a week ago on the show. You've got a blueprint to beat the guy. And, I mean, there are guys out there. I like Sean. I've got a poster of him hanging up literally behind me right here. But I got to tell you, like, there are guys in that division that have even more tools in the tool belt than Sean does. That can be an even bigger problem for a Khamzat, right? So I think it's a fun stylistic matchup for whoever fights him next. Hell, maybe Brandon Allen, if he wins that next fight, can fight Khamzat if he doesn't get Sean next. That'd be a fun one.
I think Khamzat's moving up to light heavyweight as well. I think that's what he said after this one.
Yeah, he literally he walked right up to Dana and said he doesn't want to cut weight anymore. Brother, I don't want to cut this weight anymore.
But to add to that, give him Paulo Costa, baby. I think that would be a fun fight.
Paulo Costa versus Khamzat? Sign me up. Khamzat, I mean, dude, I'll have to pull up the clip when we do our video next on Thursday or Wednesday, but there was a clip of Paulo Costa on the Helwani show talking about how he would beat Khamzat, and he like demonstrates it live in studio. It's hilarious. First, I go to hit him in his chin like this, then pow, I hit him again, maybe a little knee. Like, it's funny as fuck, bro. Seeking that juice. It's a funny ass little performance by him. So I have to find that clip and play that here on the show for you boys. With that being said, let's move into the middleweight division, folks, or rather back into the middleweight division to talk about Roman Kopylov and Marco Tulio. Man. Our guy Marco looked pretty good in the beginning of the fight, right? He was looking really fucking strong to start, but even though he picked them early and opened a cut, Kopylov kind of rallied with the late knockdowns in round 2 and 3 and pulled out the W. Much needed rebound for Kopylov. I thought he showed a lot of power, a lot of really smart late fight adjustments with the fight IQ, but he also showed that people who are able to move in on him early and pressure him early are going to expose him to an extent. Tulio has slick striking, but the gas tank faded. It was very evident. He's got to work on that hole. It was a massive one in this fight. And make no mistake, like he was still in it in the very end. Like, it looked like he was landing shots in the last like 10 seconds of the fight was Marco Tulio, but just not enough to do it, not enough to win it. It's funny because if you look at it on total strikes, if you take away the knockdowns, Marco won that fight. But 3 knockdowns is very hard to ignore, almost impossible to ignore. 80-69 on total strikes in favor of Tulio, 62-61 in significant strikes in favor of Tulio. So he landed more and he landed the more significant strikes. But man, Tulio's good at working on holes. Shout out Norma. Big Norm. Let's go.
Jeez. Lazy.
Lazy, my guy. This is why we're homies. Khamzat is moving up. Man. Copy made good adjustments. Yes, he did, Veladizi. I know you had to been excited watching that shit. He was doing everything right in the second and third round, bro. Checking the kicks, just landing the jab every time his opponent would come in. And they were stiff jabs, right? Like not anything that was just like a rangefinder. Fucking fencer's jabs, putting them in his face, stabbing him with them. And then following up with other things, with other threats. A lot of good body work too. Man, impressive performance, even though I was wrong on it. Good for Roman Kopylov. I got a name on the tip of my tongue for you. But I'm not going to tell you boys yet. You got to listen to these two fuckers break down the fight first. Pip, take some meat off the bone, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it was really competitive, like you said, up until, Roman was able to kind of edge it out with the knockdowns. I mean, we started out, both guys just really trying to find their shots. Both guys were throwing and landing. Both guys were finding the body kick, straights down the middle. And they were both hand fighting quite a bit just to try to find the range. I mean, Tulio saw that Roman was circling to that power side. He found that right hand, cut the eye of Roman, landed some nasty kicks, and found a home for that jab. He was doing some really good work. Roman's nose was even broken, and we saw that at the end of the second. But the tides changed quickly. Roman was finding that check hook. As Tulio was rushing in with his head up and his hands low, Tulio was coming in as he throws a leg kick, and Roman catches him with a perfect 1-2 down the middle. And he was pretty much almost out on that point. Roman started chasing. He was landing shots, but Tulio worked his way to his feet, and Roman just kind of clinched with him. This was very similar to the last fight that we had talked about, but it was just a problem. He could have got the finish, and I think that's kind of where my problem lied at with. I mean, Roman did great. He made proper adjustments with it, and he was able to win the fight on the scorecards, but he could have finished the fight. He could have got the knockout probably 2 or 3 times. There was once in the second round, and definitely once in the third round where he could have really got it. He got hit with a nasty right hook in the third round with the straight hand. It dropped him twice. Started adding the follow-up shots, and he went for the takedown. It was, again, the same issues we saw in the second round, where he just controlled Tulio. He wasted a minute and then basically went back to war like nothing happened. I mean, Tulio actually started finding his shots a little bit more during the last minute of the third round, but damage trumps everything, and Roman was able to land the more damaging strikes. As long as Roman didn't get rocked or dropped, I mean, he was winning the fight. And it's just odd because, like I said, he could have finished that fight. Still a great fight nonetheless. It's definitely one. If you missed it, it was worth going back and watching. But Nana, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was a fun back and forth. Shout out Booba for always. Nothing gets by you, Booba. You know what time it is, if you will. Had to get the mind right. And, this one got my mind right as well. This was a fun, classic performance here. 2 big dogs going after it. I just felt like going into this fight, Roman Kopylov had more skills, had a little bit more in the gas tank. And I think Marco Tulio, though he is big in nature, and shout out Norma Dumont, but he really started to just become a sitting duck out there, right? I mean, Roman was able to start to tee off, hurt him a couple times bad. To be honest, I thought he could have got stopped a couple times, but I mean, I know we were talking about good or bad stoppages in a championship fight. You really almost don't want to see it stopped at all unless he is, they want to go out on their shield, if you will. In this kind of matchup with Marco Tulio, I just felt like, man, he wasn't really defending much. I just felt like it was inevitable. Like he was just going to continue to get beaten and battered. It ended up going to a decision, but I don't think any of us felt like he got any better as the fight progressed. I mean, Roman had his number, pillar to post, but it was a fun fight, and that was exactly what we thought was going to happen. Shout out Jackie Moon and Semi Pro for the next best afro, or I don't know, whatever fro curly hairstyle you want to call that. Thank you very much. The music ended right.
Oh man,
I love it.
Man, that was incredible.
Shout out Jackie Moon, baby.
Shout out Jackie Moon. Everybody love everybody.
ELE. Yep.
Yeah, ELE.
ELE.
Oh man. As far as for what's next for Roman Kopylov, I mean, the guy just went out there and got a pretty stellar win. He showed great fight adjustments throughout the fight. I'm gonna do a lazy pick. I'm gonna do my best UFC matchmakers impression here, and do Roman Kopylov versus Roman Dolidze. Loser has to change their name to Frank. What do you think? What do you think, Pip? You got a name?
Yusri Belguri was my only other name.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Like I said, what name is harder to say in middleweight than Kopylov?
And I found it right there, and I still fucked it up. But Nano, what you got?
You know what? What about a little CLD? What about a little Christian Leroy Duncan? On a 4-5 win streak, 14-2 record overall. A couple rankings ahead of Roman in MMA Tapology rankings here. If it makes dollars, it makes sense, but I don't know if that's too rich for y'all's blood. So that would be leapfrogging Paulo Costa. And I'd give Roman Kopylov a top 15, which I think he was ranked at one point, but
He was last year, maybe the year before, but it was short-lived. I'm down with CLD. Yeah, you know me. I'm not mad at that shout. I do think it's a bit rich though. Let's see. Off topic. So I'm wearing my Beats listening to this. Is that Pip's piano playing in the back? No, it's just a random piano track that we won't get in trouble for copyright. I thought it'd be cutesy since we have Pip's piano tips himself on the show, you know. Lazy Bad here with the breaking news here. My guy says, by the way, go Cavs. Series tied 2-2. Eat it, Pistons.
Hey.
Yeah, go hockey. I'm kidding. I know that's basketball, right? Basketball?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm cultured. I know some stuff, some things. Let's go, Valadizi.
Hell yeah.
Let's fucking go. All right, let's move on into the next one, boys. We'll go down to the featherweight division for a fight that went exactly as I predicted it going. I told you the line on this one was pretty weird, boys. I was like, man, people were really high on William Gomis. People just really love him and love just wasting money on him. We used to be those people. It was us. We were part of the problem. But they say realizing you have a problem is the first step. Right? And that's what we did. We realized we had a problem with betting on William Gomis, so we didn't do that. Instead, we went with Pat Sabatini this week, and I'm glad we did because it was just sheer dominance, folks. Did he land 3 takedowns in a 3-round fight? Yes. Did he attempt 20 of them? Also, yes. Significant strikes, 25-23. Mind you, the wrestler outlanded the striker on significant strikes, and total strikes, 78-54. Again, I tell you, happily that the wrestler outlanded the grappler. Or sorry, the wrestler outlanded the striker. Sabatini's clinch work and fence control were just absolutely top tier. Nasty stuff. He pinned Gomis against the cage, dragged him down. like some of the takedowns that this guy had and scrambles were, again, just like things you don't see very often. I believe it was this fight at one point where he had him clinched against the cage, and as he turned out, he lifted his right leg up and kicked off the cage to generate additional momentum. And the way that he landed on top of him, I was just like, Jesus Christ, like this guy's a fucking specialist. A lot of people online were talking shit about how this fight was kind of a snooze fest and that, it was too mumuch control. Brother, if you want kickboxing, one championship is a great job with the Muay Thai fights. They even do them in like 4-ounce gloves. It's very bloody stuff. Check it out. This is MMA though, brother. We have grappling in MMA, and whether you know how to do it, you love seeing it or hate seeing it, it's going to happen. It's going to be a part of the game. And if your favorite strikers don't learn how to avoid it or get up from it, you're going to end up seeing more of this. So great job for Pat Sabatini. Shout out to him. No complaints from me on this fight. I thought this was more entertaining than the heavyweight bout we had with Cortez Acosta and Volkov, if I'm being fair. So I don't know, man. Nano, am I sipping crazy juice here? Was this a bad fight?
No, it was a fun fight. I mean, the amount of takedowns that Pat Sabatini attempted is pretty crazy. I didn't realize there was 20 of those puppies. Only landed 3 of them. But no, this was a good back and forth. I think both guys were trying to impose their will. Both guys were trying to seize the moment or win each of the little exchanges. But Pat, I think, did enough to edge things out. I think William Gomez did have some exciting moments, but when you just look at everything, obviously on a round per round basis, and looking at the striking numbers, and obviously with Pat Sabatini being able to take William Gomez down the amount of times he was able to each round there, just felt like it was kind of the neutralizer. But this was a fun fight. Yeah, I mean, more entertainment than the heavyweight fight for sure. You're not sipping any crazy juice over there, my guy. But it felt like William Gomez was a little surprised that he didn't get the win. I just thought that Pat did enough on the eyeball test. I don't know, it was little biasness because we were rooting for him, but good entertaining bout, and I think the right guy won. Pitt, what did you see out there, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a little competitive just when you look at the control damage aspect, but I thought Pat definitely took it. And I mean, it was definitely more entertaining than the heavyweights, but I can't say that it was, it's not a fight that I'm going to be watching again anytime soon. But I mean, William really showed, I thought, decent takedown defense in the first round. He kind of was able to fight the hands. He got the underhooks. And he was so tall that lots of Pat's takedowns attempts were kind of just, he would hook and sweep out the legs, but it wasn't working. He was so tall for it. He had the base. And Gomez found the most successful in the brief exchanges in round 2 and 3, where he was able to kind of just, stab the T-kicks to the body, pressure forward. He found some elbows, and he did cause a little bit of a welt under the eye of Pat and some nice 1-2s down the middle. But like you guys said, I mean, Pat just had relentless entries. He held Gomez against the fence for pretty much 3 rounds, and we didn't really get to see much of anything. Gomez needs to do some work at escaping the clinch, framing or circling out, getting the hooks in or pushing the head down, or just something to really get your back off of the fence. And that's the one main thing that I learned. I mean, he's a solid striker. He's got the defense, but he needs to get people off of him. He threw some strikes from the fence, but you could see Pat just, advancing. He was able to get the takedowns. Gomez just kind of went back to defending. And Gomez definitely, I thought, landed the harder shots, but like I said, as much as control as Pat was able to get, as defensive as he made them, it just became a really frustrating fight for Gomez, in my opinion. He did enough to win. It doesn't, make me want to see him against a Diego Lopez or whatever the case is, but you string enough of those wins together, eventually you'll be at a title fight. So it doesn't really matter nonetheless. You did your trick. So I don't know if you guys had any name on top of your head or not for this guy, but he's here. He's coming. He's definitely showing that he's in that top level.
I mean, the question is, do we want to give him somebody that actually has like solid grappling that can threaten him on the mat? Or do we want to feed him to another striker? Because either way, I've got 3 names for you. I'll start with the pure grappler. Brian T. City Ortega, I think, probably makes a lot of sense if we want to be really rich for our blood here. If we want to jump all the way down the ladder and we want to give him just another striker that is kind of more of a sprawl and brawl style, we can give him 100K Dan Ige, right? I think that'd be another fun scrap. And then if we want to be really fucking nasty and put him to the test. We give him Nathaniel, the Kingsman, or as we like to call him, carved of wood. Little Nathaniel Wood action.
Hey.
I don't know what you guys think about those names or if you have a favorite, but what are you thinking?
I like Nathaniel Wood. I'll run with that one. That's our boy. Pip, what do you got?
I do like Nathaniel Wood. I was almost thinking maybe something a little higher, though. I was almost thinking maybe a Josh Emmett or maybe even a Pitbull. I think both of those could be good fights. But I do like Brian Ortega as well. I mean, I think that's a good fight.
I think the Ortega fight makes a lot of sense.
That might be one of my favorites.
It would get him ranked.
Yeah. And I think if he can kind of get to the top, 15, 13 around that range, I think that's a solid jump.
Absolutely. And it'll force him to work on his hands, and we'll see a very scary young man in Pat Sabatini, I think. So let's go ahead and keep it rolling, folks. We'll go into the middleweight division next for a fight that was a bit underwhelming for me, if I'm being completely honest. It was a fight between Baisangur Susarkayev versus Jordan Santos. Man. I'll let you guys take the lead on this one. I definitely have some thoughts. Pip, what were you thinking here, bro?
I thought this was definitely an entertaining fight. I mean, it was it got the job done, or Susarkayev got the job done. He was able to get that rear naked choke just kind of in that last few minutes, and he was able to put him to sleep. He got Susarkayev is now 12-0, and there are still some things that he needs to tighten up, but he's 25. He's already well-rounded and fighting at a very high level. I think this guy could definitely be a real problem. I mean, Susarkayev was just able to do everything at a bit of a higher level and a little bit more. I thought the advantage was fairly clear from the first round, although both guys had moments. I mean, Susarkayev just found really good teep kicks. He was able to, keep the fight at range, found some good straight right hands down the middle, and Santos was rushing in. And Santos was getting clipped every time that he did that. Santos was more hunched over, running into a lot of those shots. But as that first round went, I mean, Santos was able to start catching up, and it was mainly with that jab. I mean, he started timing the kicks, started catching them with clean shots, and increased the activity. But Santos just brought it to him to the second round. Higher volumes, the jabs were coming out, straight hands that got through, and you could definitely start to see it causing an impact on Susarkayev. Once he landed that uppercut, though, and I think that was about kind of 3 minutes into that second round, you saw Santos visibly shake his head, and just the tide definitely turned in favor of Susarkayev. He kind of got a second wind. The volume picked up from him. We had spinning attacks that were coming through, body kicks that were getting through, and he was just finding the timing of some of those looping shots. And Santos was able to kind of slip on the outside, land counters, but it just wasn't really enough to kind of swing the tide back over. He got another great read. He times that elbow with about 15 seconds left in that second round. Santos starts rushing in. The hands are down. He's just kind of ready to trade. And Susarkayev lands an elbow right through the guard, and Santos eats it, does the same thing, and gets hit with another one. And there was a nasty gash, and you saw that kind of going into the third round. Right there on the top of his head, he had a nasty gash there. And he kind of pointed at his elbow once he made that read. He said, these might be a problem for you. And they were. I mean, spinning elbows through the guard. It became a huge weapon into that third round, and it pretty much became the only shot that mattered. He was able to start walking them down, mixed in the grappling. He secured the takedowns, got that high crotch, and once he got the back, it was brutal ground and pound, wrapped up that choke, and put Santos to sleep to secure the win. But it was a very impressive finish. I thought it was a very entertaining fight for as long as it lasted, and, adds another name to their resume, and I think he's looking like a promising contender. But, Nano, what'd you think?
Yeah, brother, great breakdown as always, man. You're absolutely right. I think there was a lot of great things, but a lot of good things, and some great things need to be had still. I didn't really love the striking that I saw from Baisangur. I just thought not as sharp as maybe I was anticipating. He came in with a lot of hype, and it just feels like whether it was this fight or his last fight against Eric McConaughey, it's just playing with your food a little bit, or just needing to take more time. I don't know what it is, but I'm not necessarily seeing someone that's trending the right direction. I didn't see someone that just blatantly, was better than his competition level. I thought maybe if anything, he kind of played down to his competition, and then Jordan Santos, who really was just staying busy for the most part, really kept the first 5 minutes much closer than it needed to be. But Baisangur really settled in that second and third round, obviously found the finish, which is not easy. So I guess maybe you shouldn't be too critical of an undefeated 20-something-year-old fighter here who has definitely some aura, some moxie. But I think just to challenge him to continue to develop in that area, I think that only will help him out in the long run if he just gets more comfortable. And I don't even know. I just want to see him a little bit more firm. Just thinking about the muscles there. I hate to be so nitpicky, but he'll continue to develop. It might be a little too harsh over here, brother. What are we thinking here, man?
I'll be honest. I think all the same exact things that you said were in my notes. I thought one of the things that annoyed me the most is I feel like every time he would land a significant strike, instead of following up on it or like having that instinct mode kick in, smelling blood in the water, he would do, I think it was Daniel Cormier or Joe Rogan a long time ago started saying this term where he's taking pictures of his work. He's admiring his work a little bit too much in there. And, that's a big mistake. You hit someone and you're like, yeah, I got him. And that moment where you're like, yeah, I got him, he can fucking hit you back. And in that first round, that was happening a lot more often than not with Jordan Santos. He was landing a lot of kicks and like a lot of those were unnecessary damage. He didn't need that to happen. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. He was playing with his food. He was taking pictures of the shots. Yeah, he was admiring his work a little bit too much. And he also was doing weird things like looking over at the corner and like looking over at the commentary team. And like, you're not up that much, bro. and if you didn't get a finish, it could have been dicey on the scorecards, depending on, who's there. You know what I'm saying? It was a weird fight for me. I feel like we didn't learn as much as we probably could have or should have. But as you guys said, great job. You won by submission. You ended up cinching it in. As far as for what's next for Susarkayev, I mean, the real hunter is now 12-0, right? He gets it done via submission, rear naked choke. And I mean, that was only his second submission win in his career. So he is showing that he has additional layers. But again, wasn't super impressed. What do we want to see him fight next? Or who do we want to see him fight next, rather? Marco Tulio is coming off 2 losses. He's firmly sitting ahead of him. I think that's a fun shout. If we want to go a little bit further up the pecking order, we could do Mansour Abdul Malik. I think it'd probably be a pretty stout little banger of a contest. Nano, what are you thinking?
Ooh, I do like that. I think if we're gonna go up with Baisangur, I think that is a good landmarker, good litmus test. Just a hell of an opponent for him. I was thinking something like a Tresean Gore coming off a submission victory.
That'd be a fun banger.
That dude's got some pizzazz as well. So that's where I'm thinking, kind of in the same neck of the woods, and let's see who can come out victorious and continue to take that momentum in their career. Pip, you got any names?
Tresean Gore was definitely one of them. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's probably my favorite matchup out of all the ones mentioned. The only kind of runner-up one that I could kind of give is maybe a Robert Brysek, but I really like Tresean Gore. I think that makes the most sense.
I like the brick check shout out as well. That's a fun fight. I like you two's picks more than my own. Give me brick check or Tresean Gore. The Gore one I really fucking like. I think that's a fun shout.
I like Gore a lot.
Yeah. He's made me lose money when I bet on him or against him, but man, he's a fun fighter to watch. Yeah, like you said, Nato, playing with his food, should get to work right away in the cage and get it done quicker. 100% Valadizzi. Not going to be as great as the GOAT like he says he wants to be. He keeps playing games like he did. 100%, bro. 100%. For the final fight of the night, or rather the first fight of the night, we had a flyweight bout between Clayton Carpenter and Jose Ochoa that went the distance. There were times where it didn't look like it was going to. Jose Ochoa did get a knockdown. He landed almost 3 times the strikes, damn well over 2 times the strikes, right? 180 to 70 on total strikes, 153 to 68 on significant strikes. He did get taken down. God help Clayton Carpenter. He attempted 7 of them, bound to get 1. But man, this was just a tough bout for Clayton Carpenter. His face was leaking blood. I'm surprised they didn't throw in the towel. I'm surprised he didn't quit. Ochoa was just lighting him up, bro. Again, jabs and crosses coming out like a fucking engine, brother. Just, it was nasty, bro. Just, that engine was fired on all cylinders, if I could say. It was a great performance. Ochoa just pressed forward the whole fight. He battered the body, which really dropped the hands. He'd double up on the same side with those body shots, and as soon as his hands would come down, boom, 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 he would just fucking come forward with the hands. in the face. And it was just a frustrating fight for Clayton Carpenter. But make no mistake about it, like Clayton Carpenter was trying his damn best, bro. He was throwing everything he could. He would eat a 3-piece and land one of his own, but it just simply was not enough to deal with the oncoming onslaught he was facing. He really never let Carpenter build that momentum, did Ochoa, and he made it a clear sweep. I thought the pace, the body work, and just the overall pressure that he applied were definitely the standout traits that he showcased, Mr. Ochoa. As far as holes or trying to find any holes, he's obviously still developing power, right? He wasn't able to put this guy away, even though his nose was a fucking mess. Like, his shit was worse than mine probably today. It was bad. It was very bad how much blood this dude had just leaking out of his faucet of a face. But, man, the heart that he displayed, it's one of those situations where I genuinely feel like there are no losers here. Because Clayton Carpenter did not lose any fans, but I promise you he probably gained a handful with that performance of heart, that display of heart and grit and tenacity in there. I definitely want to see Jose Ochoa go in a certain direction as far as namesake. But before I jump into that, Pip, talk to the people.
Yeah, I mean, very, very good fight for Jose Ochoa. I mean, he came out with a lot of pressure, did a lot of good works with the combos, especially to the body, like you said, Uncle. And I mean, inside the pocket, it was nasty work. He was catching the kicks. I mean, he even got a handful of sweeps. And Carpenter, like you said, I mean, he was trying to find success. I mean, he found a few overhand lefts as Ochoa kind of came in with his hands low. He was attacking the body, but Ochoa mixed it up nice. I mean, bringing bombs upstairs. He found uppercuts in the pocket, dropped Carpenter bad in the first round, and that really became the story. I mean, Ochoa looked so good inside the pocket, just landing bombs, cutting angles, ripping shots to the body, then going upstairs and getting out of range and kind of resetting with teep kicks, just keeping Carpenter at range and then blitzing in when he needed to. I mean, he showed a really good takedown defense. I mean, he's escaping the heel hooks, getting out of bad positions on the ground, but it always ended up with Carpenter just against the fence, trying to circle out, or shooting to create space. But he was just getting outclassed. I mean, backed Carpenter up each time, busted the face up, like you said, just styled on him. It was a dominant performance for the most part for Ochoa, and we just shut down the whole game plan from Carpenter. And it really just shows you how vast this flyweight division is. I mean, there is tons of tough opposition, and each fighter, as well-rounded as they are, but they all present, like, unique issues that they have for each opponent. Like Ochoa's boxing, that's in the middle. I mean, Ochoa is a real dog, and you can hear my dogs are hyped for him now. So I think he's going to be a real problem. But Nano, what'd you think on this one?
Yeah, I agree with the dogs in the backyard barking, baby. I think he's an absolute savage, man. I mean, he showed great poise, great power, and just how fast he was. I mean, both these guys for the flyweight division were just absolutely snapping him off, man. It was. I feel bad for Clayton, if I'm being honest. I think Clayton's absolutely talented. He's just getting a bad break, unfortunately. Jose Ochoa definitely was the one leading the dance in this bout, and I think Clayton felt like he kind of found himself falling into his own trap. It's like, okay, I know I'm a good counter puncher. I'm going to react to what I'm seeing. But once Jose started getting some good momentum, hitting him with 1-2, like MMAnomaly snapping his head back, it really started to impact him. And he can only take so many punches like that, I mean, it's just one of those things where I think maybe you got to change up the game plan a little bit. Maybe you want to mix it up, change levels, mix in a takedown or two, like get him, or at least get him thinking it, whether it's feigning. Like, that's where in this flyweight division, it's not just about the skills. Everyone's fast, everyone's talented, everyone can do just about everything. It truly does boil down to the game plan, and then that gets exposed here, or lack thereof, and adjusting to what your opponent's doing. So I think all those things said, Jose Ochoa just did a good time really controlling his opponent, getting Clayton in compromised positions on his back foot, up against the fence, cutting those angles, as Valadizi like to point out. Shout out there. And shout out Jimbo's old lady. We see you there as well. Hey,
shout out Jimbo, more like it. I mean, his old man, Pip's old man, won the DraftKings this weekend.
And it's his birthday. Little luck in the air.
Pips aren't here to take part. They're here to take over, folks.
We're coming for it. Pops, happy early birthday.
Happy birthday, Jimbo.
Happy early birthday.
We're trying to get this guy on the show. We're gonna do our own version of the Ray Longo Minute with Jimbo Pip. We're gonna call it Pip's Betting Slips.
There you go.
Seriously, the man's got the picks.
Say less.
I'm telling you. We're gonna hit the older demographic. You know what I mean? We're gonna fill that niche. As far as for what's next for Jose Ochoa, man, I've got names. If I'm talking real high, like real rich for my blood here, maybe a little too rich for anyone's blood, Amir the Prince Albazi is coming off 2 back-to-back losses. He is just outside of the top 10. He is top 15. I think that one probably makes a whole lot of sense. Also talking top 15, someone we haven't seen for quite some time. Kai Don't Blink Cara France. Could be a fun little banger. And then last but certainly not least, the loser of Alex Perez versus Sumo Darji.
That's solid.
That's the one I want. That's why I saved the best for last.
Smart man.
Pip, you have any names?
Fuck, these winner-loser matchups are hard to compete with, but I've got one name. Give me a minute. It's hard for me to pronounce, but Tagir Ulanbekov.
Nice, dude. That was perfect.
All right. I think that could do it.
He practiced that one in the mirror, folks. That was great.
For about 8 minutes just before the show. I was just warming up, just trying to get it right. But as far high as I think I wanted to go for him would maybe be Tim Elliott. I think that could also be a fun fight. But Nano, what you got?
I like it. Yeah, I'm going Tim Elliott, but I think Tagir Ulanbekov's solid. I think Zumudajé is also solid. I like it all, man. I mean, this guy put himself in a great spot. There's a lot of great names. I don't know what happened to Kai. I mean, don't blink. I mean, I can't hold my blink for that long. I mean, brother, where you at?
More like blink and you miss him.
I do remember his. I don't remember who his fought on his last fight, but I do remember him saying that he was going to take some time off. I don't really remember exactly what the reason was, but he was taking some time off or something.
And then he was on the Helwani show, I think, like last year sometime. And Helwani's like, "Are you still training? You know, staying in shape, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I train all the time." But he looked like a very short Tai Tuivasa a little bit.
Like he been hitting the Oreos.
He looked like he'd been hitting the Oreos, the double stuffed. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. Yeah, I like all those picks, to be honest. Like I said, folks, not the best week at the bookies, but we'll come back harder next week, or rather in a couple days, whenever we hit you with the next episode. Yeah, we'll see you either Wednesday or Thursday. We don't know yet, but you'll know as long as you smash that bell for notifications. Do that part. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the rest. You know what to do, folks. And if you do nothing else at all, please do these next 2 things. We ask that you keep on going and you keep on growing. And we really hope we see you next episode. Let's go.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.